Hey everybody, the purpose of this video today is for people who'd like some extra practice with multiplying decimals to have a chance to do so. So let's get started. Let's say we want to multiply the decimal 1 26 hundredths by 42 hundredths. Alright, when you set this up, you want to set it up where you're multiplying vertically. So I would do 1.26 times 0.42. Alright, and what I can do is I'm actually going to ignore the decimals right away, and I'm just going to multiply like I would if they were whole numbers. So I'm going to do 2 times 6 is 12, 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5, and 2 times 1 is 2. Don't forget you need to bring down your 0 to show that you're now multiplying by your next place value here. So now I'm doing 4 times 6, 24, carry the 2. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 2 more is 10. Bring my 1 up, and 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. And then I'm obviously not multiplying by my 0 here because it would just give me a whole row of zeros. We'll add this together. Let me see if I can zoom out for you here a little bit. There we go. And we'll add down the columns now. Let's go 2, 9, 2, and 5. Alright, so now what we need to do is figure out where we need to place our decimal. Okay, so to do that, we're going to count up how many decimal places we had in our factors. I see 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 digits that are after our decimals, so in our answer, we need to have 4 after our decimal as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. That means we place our decimal right here. And I'm going to put a 0 in front of that just to show that there are no holes. So 1.26 times 0.42 equals 0.5292. Alright, let's try another one here. Let's do 3.047 times, I don't know, let's do 1.2. Right, again, we need to write it vertically, and I'm going to leave myself enough room here to do so. Let's do 3.047 times 1.2. Now, when you're multiplying decimals, remember, you don't need to line up your decimal place values. You only have to do that when you're adding or subtracting. So you can just start over on the right here, and now we're going to multiply 2 times 7, and we get 14. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. 2 times 0 is 0, and 2 times 3 is 6. Then we need to go down to our next place over, and we mark it with a 0. Now we do 1 times 7 is 7, 1 times 4 is 4, 1 times 0 is 0, and 1 times 3 is 3. Something I do want to point out while we're looking at these is that you'll notice how I lined up every number one on top of the next one. That's important, guys, so that you're not making errors when you're adding down your columns. Okay, so now 4 plus 0 is 4. 9 plus 7 is 16. I'm going to bring my 1 up. I have 5, 6, and 3. So now let's go back up to our original factors and see how many places we have after our decimal. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need to go back 1, 2, 3, 4, and that is where I will place my decimal in my product. So our answer is 3.6564. Alright, are you ready to try some by yourself? I'll put a couple on the screen here. I'd like you to pause, try them, and then come back and check your work. Alright, are you all set? Let's check and see how you did. Okay, starting with A, I'm going to look at this and just do, this is something I didn't show you before. We can just do 62 times 3. And we get 6, 18, and then go back to your original problem and see how many places you have after your decimal. And I have an answer of 1.86, or 1 86 hundredths. Let's try the next one. we are going to do 32, or you can do, 3.2 times 4.6. Again, I could leave the decimals out even while I'm doing my work off to the side. You'll still get the same answer as long as you place your decimal appropriately at the end. 18, 19, then I have 0. 4 times 2 is 8, 4 times 3 is 12. Let's add them, and we get 2, 17, 4, 1. And now, really importantly, we've got 2 numbers after the decimal in our products, or in our factors, so let's do the same thing in our product. 2 after the decimal, so it's going to be 14.72. Alright, and for our final one, here's a shortcut that I don't know if you guys know about. For letter C, we can just do 2 times 12. 2 times 12 is 24, and then I'm going to count my decimal places. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need to start at the right-hand side and go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then I just need to go back in and fill in a 0 here and a 0 here to show that there are no digits in the tenths or in the hundredths. And I'm also going to put a 0 here just to show that I have 0 in the ones column. So the answer for letter C, sorry I ran out of room here, is 0.0024. Alright, see me in class if you guys have questions on it. Have a good night.